Yeah, as mentioned, around 50 to 60% of damage was coming from auto attack, which yeah, it was much more than some of the ones were lower down to sort of 30%. CRS as well. Like you did a lot at the start as auto attack, but after that it was all your skills. So this is not as big as sort of for this one, but still warranted. Um, and the last sort of few changes now to God. So that's all the class changes. So Thunderstorm for Thor is is only on the evolve. So I found this one probably my most used Thor's God spell. It was really good. It's having its delay reduced, which is nice. I often found I wasn't leveling the fourth one until quite late in, so I didn't make much use of this. I often find it would just be on the Jotun, for example, that it would get used, but it was helpful. The delay is reduced, which is nice because it spawns a big area. Everything inside that gets hit after a period of time. Spawn radius is smaller by quite a lot, down to about half, which is, especially because this is radius, this is actually quite a large distance. So we'll have to see how that goes. It may not be worth taking anymore. Definitely the first three levels are really good. I've often found, just hitting random spots around the battlefield is really good for thinning out enemies, especially if you can't hit the ones at the back because you're melee. That's yeah, Thunderstorm is really good for that. So the critical damage reduced to 30%. This is the one that also gives you 10% critical hit on it. Reduced to 30%, a little bit. You crit a little bit harder, a little less harder. I found the critical hit on it is still going to be really beneficial for activating other things, like for example the healing from Berserker, and it looks like now the healing from Master Assassin. It's definitely something that will benefit Flame Sister as well, because Flame Sister almost felt like playing Berserker, but you didn't have the sustain. You were a bit more nimble. You had the second dash charge, so if you played a bit better, you were good. But you did feel like you were just playing a Berserker that couldn't heal. So I think that'll be really helpful. And again, this does not affect that as well, but you'll do a little bit less damage, so that's fine. Um, this overwhelming potential is a passive that you actually take from the skill shop again. Um, I didn't often take this because I wasn't going full into Thor. I might take this if I was playing CRS or if I wanted to play more of a God skill build. It's now increased to 40% from 30%, so straight buff. Yeah, it'd be interesting. Usually the ones I would take would be Thunderstorm and Revenant. You can have three God skills actually. So Thunderstorm, Revenant. My third one I usually took a Freya God skill. So you might want to go into a straight up third Thor one. I don't think any of the other God skills do lightning damage. So yeah, this will be a buff if you were playing large Thor builds, which is fair. And discharge. I have to remember what discharge did, but adding damage to it, that's good. Yeah, if we took it, I have to remember when we took it or not. So this is one of the other ones. So as mentioned at the start of the video, Odin and Flame Sister were quite underpowered. Odin getting pretty big buffs here made sense. I actually tried to play a Gungnir, Hugin, and Munin, the birds build. I couldn't make it past about 10 minutes. There was just thousands of enemies on the screen. I could not kill anything. So this is getting, it's almost 100% buff to 10 from 6. Um, I don't know if that's going to be enough. I have to see, but it just was not killing things. You don't see actually health bars or anything like this, but you can sort of tell from how many hits they take. Things were having about 30 health, maybe 25 to 30 health on Insane with a couple of modifiers. I don't think anything that affected enemy health, but just in general. So that was taking, if you say the 30 health, 5 hits, it'll now take 3. That's really good. That's 40% sort of less hits. Especially it is AoE, so it's hitting a large amount. So yeah, be good. And again, the evolve. I don't even know if I got to the evolve purely because I was getting such little XP for not being able to kill anything. That was another thing as well. Um, I mean, on a class like Revenant, it's worth taking. If you Revenant, you can carry anything. It doesn't actually matter what your God skills are because you're doing so much damage with your auto attack. It's kind of similar for Berserker. So Berserker has some really good class skills. So yeah, I'll have to try this one out on one of those. Because you definitely can't take this on Flame Sister and expect to do well. You just won't kill anything. You really rely on a good god skill or good class skills. So Gungnir, which is your spear that gets thrown. Again, have not actually had a chance to play with this on Evolve. So I'll have to try that out. It's a straight damage buff, so it'd be better. I don't believe it was that good. Unevolved, we'll have to see. The Runic Boulder was kind of interesting. I never actually quite got it to. I haven't in many of my runs gotten it to Runic Boulder evolve. This just leaves a boulder chasing you all the time that follows you and just damages enemies. So I think that's really good. And looking like so getting there, like from the first three levels, your damage has gone from 18 to 12. So from 12 to 18, the way they've written it is throwing me off. Up to 20, up to 30 from 20. So that's a big change. And the cooldown of this was quite long from memory. I believe maybe 8, maybe 6. So 3 seconds is really good. Pumping out more damage. So this might be worth going. And as I said, the evolve is going to 38 from 25. So that's a really hefty buff there. Ironajar. Oh, the archer. This was summoning the warrior, and then you had a chance for that warrior to be replaced with an archer. Yeah, I remember now. So a slight better cooldown. I didn't play with this one either, but half second of a cooldown of an already low skill. That's fair. You have really higher chance to get the archer though. So yeah, I have to play with that one. I can't really comment on it. Magic in Veins. Oh, okay, this is quite a big one. This was your double cast, I believe. Yeah, this was you have a 14% chance to double cast or something like that. Oh, or 10%, and you also heal. The heal's going down. This was often something I took on Berserker as well. You're just stacking all of those heal things. You're getting it buffed by the Troll Sign passive. So it hasn't affected the double cast chance, which is fine. Again, that was double. I was double casting axes. I was throwing axes everywhere. But a bit of HP off. I have to see. I was finishing runs with Berserker pretty comfortably, so I can't see this changing too much. But if you taking this on another class, it is a bit of a hit to your sustain. I have to say that. Side of Blessing, spawn radius reduced to 1 to 3. I have to remember if this one is the area that damages enemies. If it is, no, it can't be. That's so small. I'd have to check what Side of Blessing is. But spawn radius reduced to 1 to 3 meters per 2.5. So that's a really big reduction. Oh, it's the spawn radius. Oh, this might be what I'm thinking about. This is a small area that damages enemies. It was spawning really far away. It's either that or it's the area that heals you. Again, that was also spawning really far away. So you would find an area that could heal you, you'd stand in, but it was halfway across the screen. So, and there were a bunch of enemies in the way. So it just wasn't worth going across to get to them. So if that's changed, that's really good. If it's spawning close to you, I think that's a really good change. Golden Disc also casts fixed range bug. Didn't notice this one. Golden Disc is pretty good to play, especially if you can. Yeah, if you already have good sort of clear around you, hitting things further away is fine. Never any problem with Golden Discs. And Gambitine, damage reduced to 20 from 24, slash increased to 234 from 123. Okay, so this is quite a big buff, it seems like. It's going up to 4 from 3. 4 to 20. So it was doing like 72 damage max down to up to 80. So yeah, a bit of a buff. Is it at all? Yeah, well, at level 1, instead of doing 24 damage, you're now doing 40. So yeah, that's a big buff, bigger at the start, which is nice. I found some of these to sort of start off slow and then get really good. So yeah, that's a nice buff for that one. And Loki. Now Loki is a hero that I almost always spend my blasphemy point on. Get him out. I don't use him at all. So I'm probably ill-equipped to talk about these, but I have played him a little bit in the demo. Have not played him at all really. Just from not seeing much change to him going into early access. I will have to give him a chance though, because especially now there's a lot of poison in him, which didn't synergize with anything else. But I did notice this point up here. which I've now missed. Yeah, so at a 30% poison chance on Shrapnel Pot. If he has some poison damage increase or something like that, it's maybe worth playing with Flame Sister. It'd be good. I think Flame Sister needs some. I need to do some cooking on Flame Sister to find a really good build. Nothing felt particularly fantastic on her as opposed to taking Loki on Berserker and Loki on Revenant for the knockback and a Loki on Cirrus. Loki's really good. Yeah, so that'll be interesting. So down to sorry, not Loki for any of those. Thor. Thor is the one you take on that I've been taking on Revenant and Berserker and Flame Sister. Thor has been really good. The blue guy. So onto the Loki changes then. So Jormungandr, which is the snake summon, fixed targeting and damage bugs, range increase 7. I think there would have been quite a lot of sort of bugs or less things. Noticed from seeing a lot of people, everyone knew Loki was underpowered or not fun. He does have a quite a unique thing of he has a buff. Like you can think of it like a Kiss Curse. He has a buff and a negative. So you could get 30% chance to crit, for example, and then 5% of the time your crits don't do any extra damage, something like that. So he has that. Some of these seemed, no way good. Like one would be a 10% chance for positive, 5% chance for negative. You want something higher. Would you take something that's 10% all the time, or 10% up, 5% down? You take 10% all the time, which is what the other gods found. So yeah, I'm not sure if Jormungandr has that negative, but definitely on some of his, yes, you can see his risk chances. Risks are the ones that are key. So yeah, targeting and damage bugs and range increase for Jormungandr would be interesting. Have to play that one to see how it goes. Spark, the increased projectile speed, always good to hit something fast, and a pretty hefty cooldown reduction here. 2 seconds at max rank from 40.5, but it starts out 2 seconds less, so that's really good for Spark. Vipers, the poison chance was removed. Okay, and the cooldown increased to 4 seconds. Again, not too sure. Looks like a hefty nerf to Vipers, so didn't really play it that much at all. As mentioned, so I have to see how that goes now. That might have been the only good build on Loki from seeing. So, yeah, it's a nerf. No poison chance, interesting. That's kind of what Loki's known for, so I'm surprised about that, but we'll see. Parasite, auto cast, the damage interval is reduced to 0.3 seconds, so it hits, I'm going to assume it faster, I'm not sure what it started at, maybe 1, maybe 0.5. And the cooldown is reduced, so a hefty cooldown change here, 2.75 to 5 at start, going down to 2.25 from 4. And on the evolve, the cooldown is again reduced from a big amount and same damage, or even less damage interval there. So yeah, Parasite was the one going into an enemy, and then the evolve you could spread to something else. Yeah, pretty hefty buff. I mean, lower cooldowns is always nice. Flammable wall duration is reduced, okay, and cooldown is reduced. Alright, so what's the uptime here? So it previously had a 4-second uptime on a 7-second cooldown, so a bit of 50-60% uptime. You're now getting 50% uptime, so bit of a nerf. It started out, yeah, so a bit of a nerf all the way overall. Fair enough. Again, not sure how much that affects it. Your damage on the evolve though is increasing by 25% or 30% or so. Duration reduced to 2 seconds. Again, cooldown reduced. Alright, so again, a 50% uptime when it had a 66% uptime, but it did less damage before. So, yeah, about even. Bit of a wash there. Jotun's Blood. Can't remember what it does, but the risk chance reduced to 10% from 25%. Can't be bad. Could be good enough to pick it. Again, the risk chance is just so high on all of these, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a sweeping change of risk chance going down across the board. Special delivery, trigger distance reduced to 30 meters from 40 meters, risk chance reduced to 10%. Again, lower trigger distance will be interesting. I can't even remember what this one does at all. Don't think I've taken it, but lower risk chance, always good. Rigged lottery, instant gold reward increased to 30. Yes, this was instead of you getting a skill up, you could get gold instead. I found this completely useless. Like, you already have like hundreds of gold that you're getting for free for just bumping up your difficulty or something like that. or you know, breaking pots or something like that. You could get gold pretty easily, and this amount for 3 points in it, getting 13 gold instead of a skill up was just not a good choice at all. At 30 gold, if you are starting out and or maybe if they add, more uses for gold in the future. At the moment, you're just buying skill points in the skill shop. Um, yeah, I already have enough to fully build out all my characters. I'm probably paying like 250 per point at one point because it goes up and up. It's crazy, but yeah, this could be worth it. Especially if you have a specific build where you're getting a lot of XP or you're killing stuff really fast. You could take this and be a bit greedy. Yeah, to get more gold. That's probably all I'll go over immediately. So that's more of the sort of balance changes. I'll have a quick scan over the improvement of bug fixes. So again, goodbye screen. Yeah, I think that's all fine. Like it's fine. This is quite good actually. Reworking the visual for a more immersive experience. Have to see how that plays because yes, the Curse of Heat was terrible to follow. You just you sometimes just couldn't see the tornadoes. So that's good. This will be interesting as well. Oh, yep, helpful. Intro fade out. So there's one that I would be interesting to see if it's here. So a lot of these are just bug fixes. Is on the Nithstang circles. No. So on insane. Oh, maybe it was this one. Portal spawning issue. Yeah. So they were spawning on top of each other, and then you were opening up one, and then it would start spawning mobs from the other one and not count for the initial one, so you couldn't actually progress it. I only had this happen to me once, but it was enough to brick my run because I ran out of time. So I think I spent 2 or 3 minutes trying to get this portal to run. So yeah, that's it. Any other sort of fire tornadoes no longer persist after revive? Okay, I haven't had that happen. That'd be interesting. Thorn under the plate. This was happening actually. Just instantly taking it again on some classes you were fine with it. On Berserker or on Revenant because you're taking less damage from the dash or you're getting really good um, HP regen from the Berserker. It was sort of fine, but on some this was terrible. Uh, Crippling Axis. Have to tell what that did. Skill selection lock after Alt Tab. No game behind. Pause. Oh, yep. I'm just so glad that he fixed my bug. Like I'm just so proud of it. I'm sure I wasn't the only one to report it because it was pretty egregious, but that's really good. And banish chest rewards. Oh, that's quite good actually. I did notice that a couple of times that they were appearing. Um, yeah, so that's about it. It's a pretty hefty patch, especially we're in early access and it's going. I think it'll shake it up a little bit. Especially excited to make a little look at Loki again, and especially to check out the Flame Sister. I think this is really warranted. This one and this one are the big buffs I can see that are good, that provide a variety. Again, I think this is just a little bit. This is sort of buffs and nerfs. A little bit of nerfs here, but fine, definitely warranted. A little bit of changes here, but overall, yeah, really good patch. So yeah, thanks to the developer and enjoy. Catch you next time.